Bible in 1 year, day 228. Zechariah chapter 5-8. Zechariah chapter 5 1-11. Then I turned and raised my eyes, and saw there a flying scroll. 2 And he said to me, What do you see? So I answered, I see a flying scroll. Its length is 20 cubits and its width 10 cubits. 3 Then he said to me, This is the curse that goes out over the face of the whole earth. Every thief shall be expelled, according to this side of the scroll, and every perjurer shall be expelled, according to that side of it. 4 I will send out the curse, says the Lord of hosts. It shall enter the house of the thief and the house of the one who swears falsely by my name. It shall remain in the midst of his house and consume it, with its timber and stones. Vision of the woman in a basket. 5 Then the angel who talked with me came out and said to me, Lift your eyes now, and see what this is that goes forth. 6 So I asked, What is it? And he said, It is a basket that is going forth. He also said, This is their resemblance throughout the earth. 7 Here is a lead disc lifted up, and this is a woman sitting inside the basket. 8 Then he said, This is wickedness. And he thrust her down into the basket, and threw the lead cover over its mouth. 9 Then I raised my eyes and looked, and there were 2 women, coming with the wind in their wings, for they had wings like the wings of a stork, and they lifted up the basket between earth and heaven. 10 So I said to the angel who talked with me, Where are they carrying the basket? 11 And he said to me, To build a house for it in the land of Shinar. When it is ready, the basket will be set there on its base. Next chapter. Zechariah chapter 6 1-15. Then I turned and raised my eyes and looked, and behold, 4 chariots were coming from between 2 mountains, and the mountains were mountains of bronze. 2 With the first chariot were red horses, with the second chariot black horses, 3 With the third chariot white horses, and with the fourth chariot dappled horses, strong steeds. 4 Then I answered and said to the angel who talked with me, What are these, my Lord? 5 And the angel answered and said to me, These are 4 spirits of heaven, who go out from their station before the Lord of all the earth. 6 The one with the black horses is going to the north country, the white are going after them, and the dappled are going toward the south country. 7 Then the strong steeds went out, eager to go, that they might walk to and fro throughout the earth. And he said, Go, walk to and fro throughout the earth. So they walked to and fro throughout the earth. 8 And he called to me, and spoke to me, saying, See, those who go toward the north country have given rest to my spirit in the north country. The command to crown Joshua. 9 Then the word of the Lord came to me, saying, 10 Receive the gift from the captives, from Heldai, Tobijah, and Jedaiah, who have come from Babylon, and go the same day and enter the house of Josiah the son of Zephaniah. 11 Take the silver and gold, make an elaborate crown, and set it on the head of Joshua the son of Jehozadak, the high priest. 12 Then speak to him, saying, Thus says the Lord of hosts, saying, Behold, the man whose name is the branch. From his place he shall branch out, and he shall build the temple of the Lord. 13 Yes, he shall build the temple of the Lord. He shall bear the glory, and shall sit and rule on his throne. So he shall be a priest on his throne, and the counsel of peace shall be between them both. 14 Now the elaborate crown shall be for a memorial in the temple of the Lord for Helam, Tobijah, Jedaiah, and Hen the son of Zephaniah. 15 Even those from afar shall come and build the temple of the Lord. Then you shall know that the Lord of hosts has sent me to you. And this shall come to pass if you diligently obey the voice of the Lord your God. Next chapter. Zechariah chapter 7 1-14. Now in the 4th year of King Darius it came to pass that the word of the Lord came to Zechariah, on the 4th day of the 9th month, Kislev. 2 When the people sent Sherezer, with Regem-melech and his men, to the house of God, to pray before the Lord. 3 And to ask the priests who were in the house of the Lord of hosts, and the prophets, saying, Should I weep in the 5th month and fast as I have done for so many years? 4 Then the word of the Lord of hosts came to me, saying, 5 Say to all the people of the land, and to the priests, When you fasted and mourned in the 5th and 7th months during those 70 years, did you really fast for me? 6. When you eat and when you drink, do you not eat and drink for yourselves? 7. Should you not have obeyed the words which the Lord proclaimed through the former prophets when Jerusalem and the cities around it were inhabited and prosperous, and the south and the lowland were inhabited? Disobedience resulted in captivity. 8. Then the word of the Lord came to Zechariah, saying, 9. Thus says the Lord of hosts, execute true justice, show mercy and compassion everyone to his brother. 10. Do not oppress the widow or the fatherless, the alien or the poor. Let none of you plan evil in his heart against his brother. 11. But they refused to heed, shrugged their shoulders, and stopped their ears so that they could not hear. 12. Yes, they made their hearts like flint, refusing to hear the law and the words which the Lord of hosts had sent by his Spirit through the former prophets. Thus great wrath came from the Lord of hosts. 13. Therefore it happened, that just as he proclaimed and they would not hear, so they called out and I would not listen, says the Lord of hosts. 14. But I scattered them with a whirlwind among all the nations which they had not known. Thus the land became desolate after them, so that no one passed through or returned, for they made the pleasant land desolate. Next chapter. Zechariah chapter 8 1-23. Again the word of the Lord of hosts came, saying, 2. Thus says the Lord of hosts, I am zealous for Zion with great zeal, with great fervor I am zealous for her. 3. Thus says the Lord, I will return to Zion, and dwell in the midst of Jerusalem. Jerusalem shall be called the city of truth, the mountain of the Lord of hosts, the holy mountain. 4. Thus says the Lord of hosts, old men and old women shall again sit in the streets of Jerusalem, each one with his staff in his hand because of great age. 5. The streets of the city shall be full of boys and girls playing in its streets. 6. Thus says the Lord of hosts, if it is marvelous in the eyes of the remnant of this people in these days, will it also be marvelous in my eyes? Says the Lord of hosts. 7. Thus says the Lord of hosts, behold, I will save my people from the land of the east and from the land of the west. 8. I will bring them back, and they shall dwell in the midst of Jerusalem. They shall be my people and I will be their God, in truth and righteousness. 9. Thus says the Lord of hosts, let your hands be strong, you who have been hearing in these days these words by the mouth of the prophets, who spoke in the day the foundation was laid for the house of the Lord of hosts, that the temple might be built. 10. For before these days there were no wages for man nor any hire for beast, there was no peace from the enemy for whoever went out or came in. For I set all men, everyone, against his neighbor. 11. But now I will not treat the remnant of this people as in the former days, says the Lord of hosts. 12. For the seed shall be prosperous, the vine shall give its fruit, the ground shall give her increase, and the heavens shall give their dew. I will cause the remnant of this people to possess all these. 13. And it shall come to pass that just as you were a curse among the nations, O house of Judah and house of Israel, so I will save you, and you shall be a blessing. Do not fear, let your hands be strong. 14. For thus says the Lord of hosts, just as I determined to punish you when your fathers provoked me to wrath, says the Lord of hosts, and I would not relent. 15. So again in these days I am determined to do good to Jerusalem and to the house of Judah. Do not fear. 16. These are the things you shall do. Speak each man the truth to his neighbor. Give judgment in your gates for truth, justice, and peace. 17. Let none of you think evil in your heart against your neighbor, and do not love a false oath. For all these are things that I hate, says the Lord. 18. Then the word of the Lord of hosts came to me, saying, 19. Thus says the Lord of hosts, the fast of the 4th month, the fast of the 5th, the fast of the 7th, and the fast of the 10th, shall be joy and gladness and cheerful feasts for the house of Judah. Therefore love truth and peace. 20. Thus says the Lord of hosts, peoples shall yet come, inhabitants of many cities. 21. The inhabitants of one city shall go to another, saying, let us continue to go and pray before the Lord, and seek the Lord of hosts. I myself will go also. 22. Yes, Many peoples and strong nations shall come to seek the Lord of hosts in Jerusalem, and to pray before the Lord. 23. Thus says the Lord of hosts, in those days 10 men from every language of the nations shall grasp the sleeve of a Jewish man, saying, Let us go with you, for we have heard that God is with you. End of day 228 Recting.